There are so many animal shelters that are just filling up with unwanted dogs, and those sweethearts, they deserve a second chance.
They absolutely do. Well, there is a program where these dogs are being trained to be rehomed. It's great for the dog. It's also having an impact on prisoners.
Wait, what's that all about?
You're about to find out.
And this is Chick2Chick. You know I love my dogs.
Oh, yeah.
I love my dogs. I
Yep.
love my dogs. I've had dogs since I was little, since I was a kid. So, the thing I don't really love about dogs, though, is that whole training process. But they just bring so much joy into your life. They're so happy whenever you come home.
They love you no matter
They
what.
are your bestie friends. But that training part, that's not so fun.
Yeah, it is difficult. There are so many dogs out there in high kill shelters. And there is a program in Pennsylvania that I didn't know anything about.
Me
I'm not
either.
certain that a lot of people know about. But these dogs are coming in from high kill shelters and they're being retrained by prisoners. What is that all about? We're about to find out. Our guests today, Brian and Tricia Anthony. Hey guys, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. You got your doggy Fleur from this program. It's called the
sweet.
DAWGS Prison Program. Tell us about this program. I
never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Well, they've been in operation for about 10 years, and they work with a couple of local prisons near Pottsville, one being SCI Mahanoy, which is where Fleur came from, and they also work with the SCI Frackville.
So these dogs are coming in from where? Other states? They were in high kill shelters? And then what happens? What's the process?
Well, they mainly work with shelters from the South because they have a overabundance of dogs down there. So Fleur came from West Virginia, from a high kill shelter. And the process is they will kind of screen the dog, sometimes with video, or they work with certain shelters, and they kind of look at their temperament and to see if they would be a good fit for the program. So then they bus them up, and then they go off to the prisons.
So they're integrated into the prison with the prisoners. How does that work exactly? I mean, are they hanging out in their cell with them? Do they have a different space? Tell us about what that relationship is like with the dog and the prisoner.
Well, they also, of course, the inmates are also carefully screened to make sure that they are also a good fit. And the Eckerts who run DAWGS, they will work with the trainers, the inmates, twice a week for about 4 weeks. And the dogs will actually stay with them in their cells, in their crate, and they will socialize them, and they will teach them house training and basic commands.
And so
they pretty much cover all the care.
Oh, wow.
they're doing everything there. Brian, tell us now how you guys got matched up with Fleur.
Well, mainly due to Tricia, her efforts looking in Pet Finder. She happened to find Fleur through using the Pet Finder app. And, again, we reached out to DAWGS and looked to see about going out and visiting and meeting Fleur in person and, going from there.
So when you went on Pet Finder, did you already have in mind that you wanted to rehome a pet versus, getting a puppy? Did you already want more of an adult dog or a dog that was not, from a puppy mill or wherever?
Yeah, we had lost our little dog Daisy last year, so we were thinking about getting another dog, and we were looking for an adult dog, someone who could really use a home that needed a second chance. And we liked the idea of rescuing. So the Pet Finder app is really great because it lets you enter in, I like a smaller dog so I can, carry them if I need to. We did want an adult dog, that maybe had some basic training. So I think I put in house trained, and it's great because it'll give you, however far you want to travel, I think I put 2 hours. So Fleur was about an hour away, and up popped Fleur.
So, Brian, you mentioned you guys went to visit Fleur. Did you guys go to the prison to see this dog? And I'm kind of curious. Well, first of all, answer that question. Did you go to the prison to see the dog?
Actually, no, we didn't. The DAWGS program, they have a kennel, and we actually went there. But and again, I'm thinking back a few months to make sure. I believe, again, we reached out, and I believe the owner, like, she had to go get the dog from the prison where she was still staying at the time to bring her to the kennel for us to visit.
And so, and I want this question to both of you. I mean, it's kind of odd to hear this, that the dog's in a prison being trained by a prisoner. These folks have committed crimes. I'm sorry, that's where my head's going. Did you guys have any apprehension at all getting a dog that was trained by a prisoner?
No, actually, not at all. I checked my wallet when I was done meeting her, but, it was still there.
Trisha, did you have any, maybe this isn't a good thing? Did you think anything of it?
No, Fleur has street cred now, so that's good. She's, she's a tough girl. No, I figured, honestly, it was better because we get a dog that's been trained really well for 4 to 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I remember asking, does Fleur sleep through the night? Does she have to get up in the night? And they said, the doors are locked from, 9 to 7. So she's used to a routine. And honestly, she's such a well-trained dog. There were certain little things, but they weren't anything that weren't easily, trained. A little bit of training helped her. For instance, she's a little reactive to other dogs. So we did take her to Greenland, which was wonderful. She was there just like a day camper almost for 3 days a week for 4 weeks. And they worked with her so wonderfully. Introduced her, socialized her to other, appropriate sized dogs. Mm-hmm. So, honestly, I think when you go through a program like this, they're very well trained, whereas sometimes from a rescue, depending on which one or how long they have them, they might not have the same type of training as the prison dogs. But
you would think that they probably vet the prisoners very well. That there's got to be, it's got to be that they have a purpose. The inmates now have this other thing living with them, breathing around. They're caring for. I would think that it gives them a sense of purpose, and I bet that they love up on the dogs. I bet they really love up on the dogs. They're probably in line, to do it again. I mean, it seems like such a win-win. What is the cost involved with this? Because sometimes you go to shelters. We got our dog from a shelter, and I think it was the same cost as if I brought a brand new puppy, which I was supporting the shelter. But what's the cost that's involved when you go through this program?
For this particular, for Fleur, it was probably about the same as going through getting a puppy or something like that. I want to say it was $700 or so. And again, to support just all the dogs that they're doing, since they're doing them at both SEIs. And then to what you were saying before about for the prisoners and a win-win, the lady was telling us that one of the prisoners, because of being involved and multiple times with the animals and so forth, my understanding is that when he was released, he actually went to work for a shelter using that experience that he got. And because he liked it so much, he has a job working at a shelter, doing what he was doing, with the dogs, and really, a win-win.
Yeah, it's great to hear that it's having that type of a positive impact on the prisoners. Trisha, tell us about Fleur.
Fleur's adorable, by the way.
She's a cutie pie. Tell us
she
about her.
She looks so content
She's
and happy
a really
with you.
good girl. She's very intelligent and like I said, very well trained. The only, hiccup we've had was she does sometimes bark at other dogs, but she's gotten so much better. And she also, when a new person comes in, she has to let you know she's okay with you before you pet her. Mm-hmm. And then she's all in total love from there. People that come to our house, I say, don't pet her yet. Let her come to you.
Okay.
And then it's just wonderful. We've had my family over for, was it Easter? And I'm sorry, it was Memorial Day. But anyways, we had my whole family over and I was so concerned about Fleur. But after a few minutes, I had her in my office. I could tell she wanted to come out and she was very calm. And she was just going from lap to lap and it was really great.
She's adorable.
She is.
Look at her.
She's
so cute.
She knows we're talking about her. They're smart. She's like, yes, I'm smart. Yes, I'm good. And with what you said, all dogs deserve that respect. That's how humans should look at it is let me just make sure the dog is comfortable. That's just good. I'm really glad you had such a wonderful experience. And I feel like this is something very positive people need to know about, because I can imagine that the more dogs you can get out of these kill shelters and put them in the hands of the inmates who can have a purpose. I mean, what a beautiful cycle.
Yeah,
it is. Like I said, it's like a win-win.
And they've been around for 10 years. What would you say to somebody who might be considering adopting a dog from this program? Do you have any advice? What are your thoughts on it?
And how do they get information if they want to?
I wouldn't hesitate. You can email the owner of the rescue, and she's been very, very helpful. They even offer training up at Pottsville, but that was a little far for us to go for, regular training. Again, I think it makes me feel good because, like you said, it's a win-win. It softens the inmates' hearts. They want to do this. Believe me, that I've heard of inmates there. They've taken care of 27 dogs, like one inmate, because it's a stressful situation they're in. Sometimes there's not a lot to do, so they really want to be part of this program, and it's a chance for them to be redeemed and a second chance for them as well as the dog. So it just makes me feel so good. We have, people in prisons and they want a purpose too. Yeah. And I just think this is a perfect solution for the dogs.
And they have a Facebook page, and I know DAWGS is not spelled DOGS. What's the Facebook page and what's the right spelling for it?
It's the Facebook page is DAWGS, DAWGS, and it's DAWGS Prison Program.
DAWGS. DAWGS Prison Program.
Perfect.
Brian and Trisha, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and telling us all about your positive experience with adopting Fleur. Where'd she go? She took off. She's bored.
I think she's
on the floor laying down here.
Yeah, she's done. She's done with us.
Well, we thank Fleur and we thank both of you for coming on today.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having us.
Thanks, guys. It's great because they're saving the dogs, saving them and rescuing them from these high kill shelters. And really, in a way, they're saving the prisoners too, because
giving them purpose.
It's giving them a purpose, and they're doing a great job. And I knew nothing about this program. I found out about it actually from Trisha and Brian.
I think you should do it.
I love me my Tilly.
But Tilly's not here all the time. Anyway, I'm going to work on her getting a dog. But we thank you for joining us today. And if you just do us a favor, head over to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe till we're back to chirp about another topic.
Hey, good luck with that.
You're going to get one. She's going to get one.